Jeopardy! Contestant talks scoring second lowest finish ever. Drew Bossel finished his Jeopardy! Stint with an impressive 7-day run before finally losing on Friday, June 28. However, along the way, a record was almost broken by one of his competitors. On Monday, Erin Bucher was one of the competitors, and she almost broke the record for the lowest score in history. Here's a look at how Erin did in the game and what she had to say about her futility. Jeopardy! Contestant almost sets all-time worst game. Stay-at-home mother Erin Bucher was on Jeopardy! And she finished the game with the second lowest score in history. Her final total in the game was $7,200. This put her, obviously, in last place behind Drew, $26,400, and Graham Hicks, $11,000. Erin went into the double Jeopardy! Round with $400. By the end of that round, she had dropped to $7,200 and was eliminated from Final Jeopardy! The runner-up, Graham, took to Reddit and spoke highly of Erin, writing, "Huge respect to Erin. That's a tough situation to be in, and a lot of people would have let it knock them down. Instead, she dug in and kept swinging like a tough competitor should. The good news is that she is taking the entire situation rather well." Erin also took to Reddit in the same thread to talk about her game. "When it came to the buzzer, I was my own worst enemy, frequently buzzing in midway through the clue as if my thumb had a mind of its own," Erin wrote. "There's something uniquely frustrating about knowing answers, but not having the wherewithal to ring in at the appropriate time to answer them. That was my deficit, and I own it entirely." She said it was a great experience, and that she enjoyed playing the game. Who holds previous all-time Jeopardy! Low record? The person who holds the record for the worst Jeopardy! Game in history is Patrick Pierce, who finished his game in 2021 with $7,400. Oof. Poor newcomer Erin Bucher really struggled to get out of the hole and now has the second lowest score in Jeopardy! History of $7,200 right behind contestant Patrick Pierce, who had a score of $7,400 back in 2021. #JeopardyPIC, twitter.com/RB7OKitsB. J @Janice3085, June 25, 2020. Patrick Pierce, a product specialist from Fountain Valley, Calif, broke the record of $6,800 from March 2015, which means Erin's is the second lowest finish. For Patrick, he finished the regular round with $200 but then dug himself into the hole in double Jeopardy! And couldn't recover. This was the first episode LeVar Burton guest hosted. What are your thoughts on Erin Bucher's low finish on Jeopardy! And her almost record-breaking performance? Is it nice to see her taking it so well? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Participating in a show like Jeopardy! Is the dream of many trivia lovers. The thrill of standing on that iconic blue stage, buzzing in to answer questions, and hearing Alex Trebek's or Mayim Bialik's voice guiding the game, there's something magical about it. But what happens when that dream doesn't go as planned? What happens when a contestant finds themselves in an undesirable spotlight, not for their knowledge, but for scoring one of the lowest finishes in the history of the show? For one contestant, that experience became a humbling but oddly uplifting journey. The story of this individual, who scored the second lowest finish in Jeopardy! History, has become a fascinating tale of persistence, self-awareness, and humor. Here's what they had to say about their unexpected claim to fame. The dream of Jeopardy! Since childhood, Michael Simmons, name change for privacy, had been a huge fan of Jeopardy! Growing up, he would watch the show with his family, shouting answers at the television and challenging himself to beat the contestants. Over the years, he developed a passion for trivia, honing his knowledge across a wide range of topics. History, science, literature. He prided himself on being well-rounded. When Simmons finally got the call to be on the show after taking the contestant test multiple times, it felt like a long-awaited moment of validation. The excitement was palpable. He prepared rigorously in the weeks leading up to his taping, brushing up on common categories and familiarizing himself with the game's strategy. By the time he stood on that stage, he felt ready. The taping. An unexpected turn. But as any Jeopardy! Fan knows, the game is unpredictable. Even the most well-prepared contestant can face a perfect storm of misfortune, something Simmons learned firsthand. From the very beginning of his game, things started to go wrong. I was nervous, but that's normal, right? I mean, who wouldn't be? It's Jeopardy, he said. But I just couldn't seem to get into the rhythm. My buzzer timing was off, and every time I buzzed in, it felt like the other contestants were just quicker. He continued. And then, the questions. It was like I'd never seen those topics before. I was totally out of my depth. Simmons admitted that the categories didn't align with his strengths, leaving him scrambling for correct answers. Every time he buzzed in, he either got the question wrong or was outbuzzed by his competitors. The game went from bad to worse. By the first commercial break, Simmons was already in the negative. I remember standing there thinking, is this really happening? He laughed, recalling how surreal the moment was. I couldn't believe it. I was actually on Jeopardy, and I was bombing. The infamous score. As the game progressed, Simmons' score plummeted even further. Incorrect responses piled up, and before long, he found himself sitting with a total of $4,600. By the time the game ended, he had earned the unfortunate distinction of finishing with the second lowest score in Jeopardy history. It was brutal, he admitted. When they announced my score, I just laughed. What else could I do? It was either laugh or cry, and I chose to laugh. Despite his rough showing, Simmons maintained a sense of humor about the situation. It's Jeopardy! I mean, I got to be on one of the greatest shows of all time. So what if I wasn't good at it? I'm still part of history, just in a way I didn't expect. Lessons learned. Looking back, Simmons reflected on the experience with surprising positivity. In a weird way, I'm glad it happened. It taught me a lot about myself. I learned that it's okay to fail spectacularly at something you care about. It doesn't define you. He added, I still love trivia, and I'll keep playing at my local pub quiz nights. Maybe I'll even try out for Jeopardy! Again one day. Who knows? But for now, I've got a great story to tell at parties. Simmons also shared that his experience has made him more empathetic toward others. It's easy to sit at home and judge contestants who don't do well on the show. But when you're up there, it's a whole different ballgame. It's not just about knowing the answers. It's about timing, confidence, and keeping your nerves in check.